San Diego's Jazz 88.3 and the new Jazz Thing. Music there from Doug Webb. His release is entitled Back East. This was recorded in 2014 with Peter Sack on piano, Ben Wolf on the bass, and Rudy Royston on the drums. Doug Webb on saxophone. He was our artist for Jazz Live this past month. What a fantastic show we had with him and his quartet, featuring, among others, pianist Mitchell Foreman. The tune we were listening to, Down East, from the disc Back East. And if you head out to the jazz88.org blog and tonight's show post for the new Jazz Thing, I've got a link to that Jazz Live blog post that has the audio and video from the Jazz Live performance. You can relive the whole thing there, and then you'll be hearing more of Doug Webb's Back East disc all during the week here on your jazz station, KSDS Jazz 88.3. You're listening to the new Jazz Thing. My name is Vince Outlaw, and joining us in studio this evening to talk about what's happening this weekend is Stephen Ray. Stephen's our guest artist for the jazz-inspired pool party coming up at the Lafayette this weekend. Stephen, welcome to the new Jazz Thing.
Well, thank you for having me, Vince. It's
So,
delightful to be here.
It's great to have you. So I was looking all over the place for information about the Stephen Ray Sextet and couldn't find anything. So I'm imagining that this is a new ensemble that you're putting together for this gig this Sunday.
It is incredibly unpredictable, and my knees are shaking talking about it. You never know what you're going to get.
Never know what you're going to get. Well,
but I'm sure it will be fantastic.
And
I feel so blessed to play with these guys. They're great.
So let's talk a little bit about the music that you're going to be playing this weekend at the Lafayette, right by the pool. You have a reputation as a roots rocker. You've played some of the blues with Lady Dottie and the Diamonds and more. What are you going to be doing this weekend? And tell us about the band.
I think, in short, we just carry a torch for everything that's slowly disappearing in this country. So I've been playing with the guitarist Richie Orduno. He's just incredible, and he just really brings something magical. And we have this fantastic camaraderie and charisma together. And so that's been the foundation. And then this Sunday I'll have Gabriel Sunday on baritone sax, and maybe some of Jason Hanna and his boys from the Bullfighters on horns, and Richard Larson will be playing drums for me this Sunday. So I feel very, very blessed to have these guys give me a nice foundation.
So when I imagine you and your music and you playing, I don't really picture out under the afternoon by the pool cabana kind of thing. I picture more of the dark bar kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where do you come from as far as music is concerned? How long have you been here in San Diego?
I grew up in San Diego. I grew up all over in East County, from Lakeside to East San Diego, City Heights, North County. I lived many, many years downtown, and between downtown and Golden Hill primarily. So as a kid, I was going and hitchhiking and seeing punk rock bands with had a very punk ethos feel, and but at the same time I was collecting blues and jazz records and sneaking into before I was even 21, I was sneaking in to see Tomcat Courtney, and I loved him because I felt there was an underlying common denominator with Lightning Hopkins and all these Texas blues artists that I was in love with as a kid collecting records, Freddie Lee Sims and whatnot. But in all, I think, and then even the Paladins. I think I was 19 years old at the Belly Up, catching the Paladins for the first time, and just really just struck, and something inside me just really aligned with that style of music.
So I get the feeling that we're going to be hearing some bluesy roots with horns thing going out by the pool at the Lafayette.
It's very bluesy, very Americana, a kind of tightrope, something from blues and honky tonk, and even a little bit of jazz at times, very swampy.
Mm-hmm. So, Lady Dottie and the Diamonds is a band that is familiar to a lot of our blues listeners here at Jazz 88.3. You came into that band and began to kind of congeal that band in the early 2000s, I believe. Tell us a little bit about your time with Lady Dottie.
God, that's an incredible time. I don't know how we don't have enough time, but it was such an incredible time. Again, she was somebody I saw before I was even old enough to get in places, and I would see her sing with different people around town and Spotlight. And at the time, I remember going in. You got some new digs here, not to get sidetracked. This is a beautiful place, but I remember coming in and digging through cassettes with Peggy Clare as a little wee punk. And,
Right.
I met Lady Dottie and Joe Guevara, and something turned into a real band, and we just had a fantastic time. Really, some great times. Like playing on a Monday night and seeing a line around the block for people that really were, had taken to the blues and mixed in with this unpredictable rock and roll happening at the same time.
So we had at our at either our last or the previous pool party, we had Miss Erica Davies playing, and you work with her also. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with her and the work that you guys do.
I'm first and foremost, she's tremendous and one of the most incomparable people I know in town, and I've been fortunate to not only is she my best friend and girlfriend, we've grown into a body of work as a duet, separate from our individual projects, and there's so many talented people in this town, but Lady Dottie and Diablo Dimes, who is on the East Coast, another gentleman I play upright bass for, and Miss Erica Davies, they have something very authentic and unique, but something very timeless at the same time. Same thing with Dave Gonzalez and the Paladins. Like I being struck down when I hear them, and full of emotions and tears. But something timeless in this torch from 30s, 40s, and 50s, even 60s. That struck a chord with me, and I've been a fan foremost, and it's been a pleasure to meet and become so close to all these people at the same time.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great afternoon by the pool. Before we close out, Stephen, tell us a little bit about what the future holds for you, what other things you're working on. Tell us a little bit about going forward, what you're doing.
Well, I have a new record coming out for, we're expecting a 2016 release, very, very hopefully within the first weeks of January, and that's all I can tell you at this moment. I just recorded some tracks with Thomas Yearsley of the Paladins at his studio last week with some great people that I'm connected to, and Jeff Miller is another gentleman and one of my closest friends who's been recording me as well. So we're looking at a double-side record, some dangerous barrel house juke joint blues on one side, and then some very swampy ballads on the other side, and we're looking for a vinyl release.
Excellent. Well, we hope that we can hear some of that this weekend. Stephen Ray is the Jazz 88 musical guest for our jazz-inspired pool party at the Lafayette Hotel coming up this Sunday, September 27th, from noon to 3 p.m. You can find out more information about that at jazz88.org. Stephen, you brought a tune with you for us to play. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be listening to, the title, and who's on it. And from what I had read, there's a story behind this tune. So tell us a little bit about it.
This song kind of says it all. It's called The Old-Fashioned Future. And again, just carrying a torch for everything that were things that are slowly disappearing. But it's kind of a love song, and it's very cinematic, and I hope you enjoy it.
Excellent. Well, Stephen, I do this all the time, but I ask folks if there's a place on the internet or another place where folks and fans can find out more about you or connect up with you. I've done a lot of research, haven't found a Facebook page or a website or any of those things, but maybe you do have some place where you want to direct people. Tell them.
Well, at the moment, you can find me on. Yeah, I'm very secretive and hide out. Some of my closest friends say I live under a rock. But you can find me on Instagram, Stephen with a PH, EL Ray, REY, and I promise I'll. By 2016, there will be a website. Keep an eye out for me, and I've never had a Facebook before, but maybe I'll jump into the.
Excellent. Well, Stephen, we'll do our part, and we'll link folks from tonight's blog post out to your Instagram, so maybe you'll get a few more followers that way, and folks can follow you that way. Stephen, thank you so much for stopping by the New Jazz Thing tonight, and best of luck with the gig this Sunday at the Lafayette, the jazz-inspired pool party at the Lafayette this Sunday, the 27th, from noon to 3 p.m. Great again to have you here, and look forward to what's going on in the future for you, Stephen.
Thank you for having me.
From Stephen Ray, music right here on the New Jazz Thing, San Diego's Jazz 88.3. There we go. There we go.
I was so nervous, man.
No, you did great. You did awesome. You
Oh,
did really good. Thank you so much. That was really good. All right.